Hi everyone, Eran Stern here with the next effect in line, and this time we are going to speak about the bilateral blur. This effect is new for CS4, and what it's trying to do is selectively blur your image. So areas with high contrast are blurred less than areas of low contrast. Let me show you how it works, but before, let's do a RAM preview to play this clip. And this is a handheld shot with, as you see, some kind of street act in Tel Aviv, Jaffa. And this image is great to demonstrate the qualities of this effect. So let's just stop here around the one marker and then select the clip, go under Effect and then under Blur and Sharpen and apply the bilateral blur. The first thing that you will see is the image go completely monochromatic. This is the default behavior of this effect, and I will suggest to tick the colorize button just to bring the colors back to the shot. And now, as I told you, it will try to identify the areas which has sharp details or high contrast and keep them in focus. And then if you look here at the area of the dress, and let me just switch it off for a minute, then you will see that it blurs this area very nicely. So we have basically two controls here, the radius and the threshold. The radius is basically the amount of blurriness. So if I will raise it a little bit more, then we will have more blur around those areas. From my experience, this effect can become very sluggish and slow if you lower this value somewhere around maybe 15 or 10 pixels. Then it has to calculate a lot more information in order to create the effect that you see. And this is again a question if you like it or not. So I think that for this example, I will raise this radius to maybe a higher number such as 20 or 25. And then let's play with the threshold. The threshold value determines what areas should be blurred or preserved according to the amount. So a lower threshold value causes more fine details to be preserved. Let me just demonstrate by keeping this value very low. Then let it calculate for a minute, and then let's move into the shot. Let's zoom a little bit inside so we can see the fine details. And as you can see, you have to find the right mix between the two. So for this example, I think that I will stay with some value which was close to the default, or let me just right click on the word and choose reset in order to reset it back to its default values. And this is basically what this effect does. So it gives you something like a dreamy look that you see here, which can work very nice in some circumstances. By the way, if you know Photoshop, then the bilateral blur effect is very similar to the surface blur you have in Photoshop. And if you know After Effects, then you might have noticed that there is another effect called Smart Blur. And the main difference between the bilateral blur effect and the Smart Blur effect is that the edges are still blurred by the bilateral blur effect, which are not the case when using the Smart Blur. So you have to decide which one will work for you and be very careful by setting the correct radius and threshold. What I use this effect for is mostly for creative glow effects, which means that it works beautiful with a combination of itself or the same layer without the effect. So you can either duplicate the layer and then remove the effects and try different blend mode, or you can choose the layer and go under Effect, Channel and choose the CC composite effect, which will then composite the original without any effect. And then just try to test a few modes here. So for example, let's try the screen blend mode and lower the opacity to, I think, somewhere around 30. And let's just zoom out of the shot so we can see a little bit more of what we have here and see how nicely it blurs the street lights at the top of the frame here. So just to see it in motion, let's go to the first frame and just create a quick run preview to see how it looks. I think that using this simple combination results in a very artisty and dreamy look, which still keep most of the edges clean and sharp, but gives a nice overall effect to the whole shot. By using this effect, we also managed to remove most of the grain that comes with this particular video, which is a nice add value if you need it, of course. And also, try to mix it with different blend modes if you want to try different looks. Anyway, this was the bilateral blur effect. I was Eran Stern for MotionWorks, and I will see you in the next episode.